What's up, guys? Welcome back to another beautiful week of interviews. And yes, I'm bringing the heat. I got the one and only Fresh Prince Fitz. What's good? How you been, bro? You been good?
Man, you know, just living. That's what's up.
Yeah, same, bro. Cause listen, I had to get fresh before this interview. No, I didn't. I need to shave. But no, for real, it's an honor to have this man come on, bro. Cause we've honestly known each other for what, maybe like a couple months, not too long. In the short period of time that I've known him, and I've been seeing his stuff because you know I'm doing these interviews fast, as you can tell, and it's like I only get let's say I would 30 seconds to really like grasp onto what you do, and then it's like, all right, I gotta pause, because if I keep digging deep, then you know what I said before. It's like I feel like my interviews aren't at the full potential.
Finding that right question.
And I don't mean to talk and go crazy like this, but for real, I need to get back on my vlogs and fill people in. I've been studying my interviews more than just doing them. Okay. Because I could easily just be doing it over and over and over again, but it's like I got to figure out what would draw the most the best questions.
The best way to get
this interview is going to be different for me and probably you. Have you ever done an interview before?
Yeah, I've done a couple, one or two, and one other podcast specifically.
Okay.
But
locally, or is it
locally,
like Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was actually at CFC. I was set up. I was an honors student originally, and we had this honors immersed project. And my honors immersed project was really the start of my business, Fresh Prince Fitz, and when I was building that up, they were so excited to have, usually these honors immersed projects are coming from STEM majors, they were so excited to have one from a theater major and somebody in the arts, not to mention an African-American kid at the school, that they were like hella promoting my shit, and it was amazing.
That's good,
including
man.
setting me up with this fucking podcast.
Yeah, no, awesome. And it just takes time too, because I feel like that probably led you up to this, and who knows what the next step is.
It all builds on each other.
But let's get into it, man. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where were you originally known from?
Yeah, man, I was born back in Atlanta. Okay. Or 15 minutes right outside the city in Clarkston. I grew up going around Decatur, which is like, man, if you're from Atlanta, you know Decatur, so I'm gonna say.
Is it Maine, near Atlanta, downtown?
Yeah, it's in one of the other big cities right outside, maybe 20 minutes tops.
For real, shout out to the people that are from Atlanta, Georgia, because I know a lot of handful. Do you know anybody from here that's from Atlanta?
Honestly, not really, and it's mostly a couple people through school for sure, but not a lot coming out in the art scene. And honestly, because I'm still in college, I really haven't been able to fully dive in the way I want to yet. So I'm sure it's gonna come with time. Yeah,
and this is a small world, bro.
True.
You know? So,
True.
But I do want to ask, so being from Atlanta and stuff like that, what do you feel like? What makes you Atlanta? How can you classify yourself that you're from Atlanta? That makes sense. I wanted to word it right because I don't want to sound like I'm dumb, but
man, nah. That's actually.
How do you classify yourself from being from Atlanta? Is there a way to do it? Because from here, being from Charleston, it's you're Geechee. Oh, he's from.
Yeah.
Or you go from, let's say, Texas, and they got that accent. Is there any way of identifying you're from Atlanta?
I mean, yeah, there are. It's the identifiers for Atlanta are ain't good, nigga.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Just the slang
fire,
type deal.
Yeah. But it's everything where it's Atlanta, yeah, that's that whack shit that's going on in Atlanta.
Right.
And,
because they've been getting known for more music, though, lately.
True.
I feel like they've taken over the music, hip-hop in particular. But also a lot of different things.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, Atlanta, it's where a lot of the greats came out of, and don't get me wrong when I'm saying on that whack shit. I mean, the social media idea of Atlanta.
I mean, if you are watching this, and you should know what you're talking about, because I get what you mean, and that's a good way. That's a good answer.
And it's but no, you're right. The music and talent and artistry in Atlanta is unbelievable.
It's off the charts. So where'd you go to elementary school, though?
So I actually went to this tiny little school called Waldorf. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
In Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta, but they're international. So my mom worked there, which is the reason I got in there. It was started in Germany years ago by Rudolf Steiner, and his whole idea was that there was more to school than testing and what you're learning, and it's more about how you learn than the thing you're learning, right? So instead of going to you go to 6 classes each day and it's the same 6 classes each day, we have one teacher who you're with from 1st grade through 8th grade every morning for an hour and 45 minutes, and that's your main lesson.
Wow.
And in that time, for a month at a time, you study one subject, right? So,
what was your subject?
Oh, sorry. Everybody, the whole class studies the same subject together, and then each month you switch subjects.
Oh, yeah.
So
do you think that was better than what you heard the normal thing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have. I have plenty of friends who hit the whole private school, who hit the whole public school thing. I mean, sorry.
Do you think there was a difference? Like, you feel like that's made an impact on you?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's the reason I can do. It's the reason I do everything I do now. It's like we learned to knit in 1st grade. We learned to sew in 8th grade. I started playing violin in 3rd grade and switched to viola in middle school. We all do theater. That's something we do every year. Every year we take a class trip and we all go camping. And we have like a garden. There's animals that you can like help learn to take care of.
I feel like that's how you find out what your purpose is.
Exactly.
You know, because here it's like they just put you in all these different classes and you don't even know what you're doing. You're doing math and social studies and science all in one day, and it's like, how are you supposed to cram
all of that straight?
So.
And they do this really, and their whole point is that, like, not that you don't need that stuff, but that you can get that stuff through art. Like, there's other ways to achieve it. And don't get me wrong, we had math, we had geography, we had science, we had all that stuff too, but that just wasn't what we were doing all day, every day.
So, like, what was your, like, most prominent thing that you remember in elementary school other than that? Because that's actually a really great memory to remember.
One of the best that stick with me is in 5th grade, we all have a pentathlon, right? Where all of the 5th grade classes of all of the Waldorf schools up the East Coast go to a central location, and in that year we all study Greece is one of the big things everyone studies in 5th grade. And we all go
like the language?
No, sorry. The ancient culture.
Okay.
Right, so that's 5th grade is a lot of your ancient culture. So we do like a month studying Greece, and in that month we take all of our essays and all of our drawings and all of our projects and we bind them into a book and we make our own textbooks. And then, you know, we jump onto Vikings and then Roman, right? So through all, and that was just 5th grade weekend. We do all the different subjects. In between there's like, there's a science in there. Then there'll be a math. We do math of the month, and then, but all that to say, we all gather in 5th grade. Everyone gets sorted into the Greek houses: Athens, Thebes, Corinth. Good Lord, Sparta, and and you get mixed up with all the other kids from all the other schools, and you spend a week living together with your city-state, right? And you get to meet all these new kids.
In elementary school?
Yeah, man, 5th grade. And then
insane.
You go out and you fucking compete in these competitions, right? Like javelin throwing and discus and relay racing and wrestling.
That's like Greek stuff.
Yes, like the ancient Greek pentathlon events. We do those, and we spend the year working on them and training for them, and then we go to this pentathlon and get to compete and meet.
What'd you end up like? What was your?
My big one was discus.
Okay, so you had to do
throwing that joint.
Hey, my God.
You know.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
It was awesome.
Like, I'm assuming your middle school led into doing more sports and stuff like that.
Yep. And that was the most hard thing about the school is that it's small, right? Because the only way to be able to do all these like very weird kind of niche things is you kind of need a smaller community, and it's a tiny private school. It's not cheap, but you definitely run to like the hard to get out of your comfort zone and meet people.
Dude, real quick, dude, shout out to your parents. That's a real one. Like, for real. Like, that's something I would die to be able to be part of. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, I don't know, that you just got me jealous, and now we can't even relive those moments.
Man, I'm
like,
telling you,
I can't go back to those. It don't even matter.
It was it was unbelievable the start this school gave me. I was blessed.
So like you know, doing middle school and or during middle school and stuff like that, what was like the most prominent thing you were thinking about? Because I know you were doing sports, but was it like you were thinking about gaming, or like what was your thinking process?
So I was definitely, the way I kind of branched out of the school was sports. So I picked up like travel baseball. I was playing YMCA
basketball. Did you want to do sports though? Or were you like, because we all get pushed to do stuff, which is, you know, it's a good thing at that age.
No, it was my love. I tried them all. I dipped my toe in every sport. I just, again, I was kind of really still figuring out what I wanted to do, and my parents were great enough to let me do that. So it felt like each season, except for my main ones, which were baseball, basketball, and ultimate frisbee, once I got to high school. Those I kind of kept up every year and jumped back in every year. But other than that,
in Atlanta?
It would be all in Atlanta. Other than that, it would be like one year, you know, one season I'd be doing dance, and the next season I would be doing swim team, and the next season I would be jumping in, I don't know, some sort of like improv group, right? Just every year it felt like I was trying to on something new, until I kind of settled into the things that was like, these are the things I'm gonna be taking with me long term.
And I think that's something a lot of people don't think about, you know, and that's probably what makes you very different and unique from a lot of other people, is because I feel like we want to live that life of like, I have to be this person, I have to do this, or I'm scared to do that. I know you were probably scared to do some things, but it's like you still took the chances. You didn't have to. You could have told your parents you didn't want to go to Greece and stuff like that. And like for real, like there's some people that you know. So bro, I'm proud of you, man. It's cool to have someone else on the podcast that's different. I'm not saying anybody else wasn't different, but it's like just to have a whole different mindset, you know, and the whole experience. So, but dude, I want to ask though, like, do you think that, or what is one advice that you would give to another person who's struggling to find their identity, maybe at the high school age? Like, what if they're a high schooler right now? What is one advice you would give to a high schooler?
Honestly, I think it goes a little bit back to what you said, where everyone, or not everyone, a lot of people are going to push you in certain directions and try and fit you into boxes, and there's going to be just overall societal pressures to, you know, worm your way into this or that, whatever you feel like you're supposed to do, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not worth it. It's not gonna, whatever you think the outcome is gonna be, whatever society's telling you the outcome is gonna be, it's not gonna be as good as you think it is, because it's not going to be what you really want. So don't let yourself be forced into those positions. Take that time to figure out what you love and what's really going to fulfill and make you happy.
Especially at that age, like I feel like high schoolers in particular really have to like come to conclusions that stick to one thing. You know, as much as you want to do everything, it's like, and that's why I kind of can't wait to have a kid. But it's like, make them do one thing, and then if they don't want to do it, tell them in a couple years they can work it on something else. You know, because I feel like if you're focused on so many different things, how are you going to know who you really are?
It's true. That's true. But I think before you figured it out, it's nice to kind of get that spread.
Yeah, I agree.
And
but
you're
to
right.
an extent though, because imagine trying to be a baker and then coming out and you're like you're a full-time FBI agent. Like I'm saying, you're trying to pursue the life of both. It's like you got to pick one.
You're right. That is no. You're definitely right. That once you
I may not even be right. I actually may just no. I'm just saying like maybe just an opinion though, because I feel like what you're saying is like you do have to dabble into a bunch of different things.
Yeah, and I think it also has a lot to do with, you know, where you are in life at that point, right? There's like different times for those things, and like following that one thing doesn't have to be the end.
Yeah, right.
So like you're like done that for a while. You're like, this was the end of that chapter for me. Like that was a good chapter. I enjoyed that. It's time to move on to something else, right? And then maybe you dabble again for a little while until you find that next thing, and you lock back in, and that's your next thing you're grinding on. So yeah, I think it's a bit of both, and it's some give and take. It's finding that balance.
It is, yeah. It's hard, but you got to do it, and only you can do it. But I was going to ask, how was high school though? Because I do want to kind of go over high school. Were you like still playing sports, or was that whenever fresh? You know what I mean? Everything.
Nah, that wasn't even a thought yet.
Wow.
That wasn't even a thought. I had just learned the sewing machine at the end during 8th grade, and I loved it. I was like really good at it, and finished we do pajama pants as the first project. Finished them early, and after that, I asked my teacher. I was like, "Hey, I really want to. Can I make something else?" She's like, "You got some extra time? Do you want to make something else?" And I was like, "Yeah." Funny enough, I was just going through my Naruto phase, starting into it, and I was like, hey, I would love to make this Akatsuki cloak.
Right.
So she helped me make one, and I finished it.
Did you feel like that was going to be like something you were going to be doing in the future, or were you just like not thinking about it at the time?
So it's funny, I was like, I loved it so much, and it didn't even occur to me that could be something I would do or could do in the future. I don't know why, but it didn't. I was like, I did it, and I loved it, and at the time I was really into like conventions. I was going to Dragon Con every year, MomoCon, Anime Week in Atlanta, anything I could get into. Me and my cousin were going all the time. So I was really just trying to make a costume for my next Dragon Con.
Yeah.
And then after that, I completely dropped sewing for most of high school. Like I said, high school for me was, so the Waldorf school continues through high school. So I was still in Waldorf in high school.
Right.
So it was really, that's when like really it was hard.
So that school was like from pre-K to
12.
Wow,
And
that's the third interview in a row.
Really?
I had someone,
Damn.
that's not normal.
That is not normal.
I've just never heard anybody going to one school their whole high school, their whole experience. I went to like 7 different
Yeah, that's all my friends do. And
that's crazy.
And to be fair, in Atlanta specifically, the campuses are in separate locations, and they're technically sister schools is what they call them, and they're not technically the same school under the same administration,
I know what you mean,
but they have the same curriculum and the same ideas.
Yeah.
In a lot of the states, because there's pretty much a Waldorf school in every single state, a lot of them, it is pre-K through 12 all together, one campus.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
That's insane.
It's
so
crazy.
like, I know we kind of just went over, but when was Fresh Prince Fits made? Like, when did that started? Because, you know, we got out of high school, you graduated, got everything done. Did you go to college? Yes, you're in college. You're at College of Charleston. But no, like, I do want to kind of just go over that real quick. How was Fresh Prince Fits made? Like,
so I got out of high school, graduated, wasn't ready for college yet, and took a gap year. So I lived for a year in Atlanta at my parents' place. I worked as a physical therapist tech. I had just tore my ACL, and I was in PT myself all of my senior year. And getting towards the end, they were like, hey, I was like, I'm thinking about doing this gap year, and they were like, well, our tech is going to PT school. They just got in. Do you want a job? I was like, shit, sounds fun, yeah.
What, like massaging legs?
Yeah, working people through exercises, getting ice packs, heat packs, all of it.
This man's a jack of all trades.
It was crazy. A year.
Like,
it was awesome.
Not do?
Man, it was awesome. I loved that shit. It was crazy. I couldn't believe I was in it. But during that time, I was wearing all like polos and khakis in like different colors, or like golf pants. Because it was professional. All of them had like my monogram on it for the business and shit. It was awesome. But I meant that like my wardrobe and style was like super suppressed, and I was like, damn. So I was hitting thrift shops and getting them all thrifted so I could get like cool patterns and cool colors and stuff. But when thrifting stuff, you realize that not everything fits right. So I would hit up my teachers from elementary school, from 8th grade, and be like, hey, I got these pants that are a little too short. Could you help me add some onto it? Could you help me like take this shirt in a bit? And I would meet up with them, and they would help me out. It was awesome. And that's when I first was like, oh man, I still got this sewing stuff. This is like 4 or 5 years later. I still got this. I'm still enjoying it. And I was on a gap year, so all my friends are at school or at college already. There's not a lot of people left in Atlanta. So I, with my free time, I would hit her up again and be like, hey, I got this jacket. Do you think you could help me put this I got this old hoodie that has a cool graphic on the back, but the hoodie's stained up. Can you help me put this on this, jean jacket or something? She helped me do that a couple times, and I was like, this is really getting awesome.
Do you like think that like people were like maybe horning you from doing it, or what was holding you back? Like, what was the hiatus for? I
think it was one of the things where it was like, you're right, like I'd been introduced to too many things, and I had moved off it so quick, I just kind of passed it over. I didn't feel like it was anything holding me back particularly, but it was like, I didn't realize where it could go. I didn't realize
the potential.
So
what would you suggest to anybody who's maybe, one way that they can fix the way of the urge to want to do what they want to do? Because I feel like we all hold ourselves back, but like I feel like you don't hold yourself back no more.
Nah,
because you wouldn't even be here right now. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be here. So it's like, what are something you would help somebody with? I know I've been doing a lot of those, but that's right. That's what this is about. Yeah, man.
This conversation is
love and bro. Peace, bro.
I think it's a lot of not caring what others think.
Yeah.
And right, it was one of those things where a lot of guys have that whole thing, and when you're younger, of be a man, play sports, all that, and even if it's not forced on you, literally that's what we get from the media, that's what we get from society.
America,
the world. I think it's sometimes tough when those interests that you are going for is sewing, is you know, acting, which is really playing pretend.
The basic ones that we all need.
The things that we love.
If there wasn't sewing,
yeah,
how would we have clothes?
Yeah.
So it's like the basic fundamentals. Like we need garbage, you know, people that want to take garbage out.
And they get these negative connotations about them or whatever it is. So I think it's you know, again, like not caring what the world thinks and doing something that's gonna you know, sustain your soul. That's gonna fill you with joy.
I feel like you gotta do stuff that scares you, and it sounds crazy because like a lot of people feel like the ones that scare you are gonna make you fail and stuff like that, but that's actually the stuff that's gonna make you excel to the max. Because you're gonna fail, but you gotta get right back up and grind. So.
Yes, but I think that was a beautiful way to put that.
Yeah, man.
Because the stuff that scares you, you really can't figure out what you can do until you're kind of backed in that corner.
Yeah.
Until you feel like, man, I'm not gonna make it. I'm about to drop. Like I can't keep going. I don't know how to get through this. And that's when you're like feel like you're in that box. That's when that creativity bursts out.
And that's where I feel like you started acting, right?
That is. That's
creativity.
That's exactly where it is.
Like,
That's
what's up with
exactly
that? You started acting.
That was So Waldorf, like I said, we had a class play each year.
At College of Charleston?
Nah, at Waldorf.
Oh,
So I'm talking about, I did a play in first grade, play in second grade, play in third grade. Wow, and then we get to high school.
So you were acting all the way before
all the way through this.
So you weren't like trying to like go like pursue that mainly?
Not even. Wow. That was just something, it was so funny. Like in Waldorf, all of these things are so normal and so integrated into just like your everyday life. It's not even like, oh man, this is a new passion I found. It's like, oh man, it's Thursday, we're doing the play. We're working on the play today. Yeah. It was just something we did. Oh man, it's Tuesday, we're doing viola today. You know, it's orchestra day. Yeah. Right? So it's just like, it was built in you. It was just built into you. It was crazy. It's awesome.
Shout out to Waldorf. Right? Waldorf. That's a dope name. Man. That sounds like Warnar or Narwhal.
Narwhal.
Narwhal. Hey, that's a good look.
Yeah, good look.
That's dope, man. I think it's beautiful, bro. Big shout out to the school. Big shout out to your parents, and most important, big shout out to you because, like, for real, I'm proud of you for being able to even tell your story and to be able to just speak what you've been going through. Because that's crazy. Because like, I just never heard anybody excel in different categories like that. Like, I've heard people say like, I've been doing music since I was 3. You know, and then that kind of thing. But you've done, like, I feel like everything, and you've kind of, do you feel like you've picked one now? Or, like, where are you at now mentally?
Yeah, I do feel like I'm definitely starting to zero in. As much as I enjoy just the aspect of trying things and doing new things, like that in itself is something I find fun and, like, I enjoy. So as much as I enjoy that, it definitely is like the time in my life where I'm kind of zeroing in.
It's like fresh.
It's fresh, and it's Fresh Prince Fits is definitely going to be the big thing I'm carrying forward, along with my acting career.
Yeah, also.
So I think, you know, in a perfect world for me, I'm going to act, and in between roles and in between auditions, when I'm not finding work, I'm going to work on the business, and I'm going to make commissions, and I'm going to sell at pop-ups, and that'll keep me going until I get my next gig, and I'm back acting, and I'm back on, you know, back on set.
What's your, like, main, and we could do, like, 2 questions off this, but, like, what's your most, like, you want to be in this film? Like, this is me. I got to play the main role. Because for me, I got Ninja Turtles. Like, I got to be in a Ninja Turtle movie before I pass away.
So...
I'm not lying to you.
I actually got you. My big one has been, man, from the beginning, is a bit of an anecdote, sorry. So, my idol, Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, wow.
You know, rest in peace. Yeah. Him in First 42, because baseball is one of my biggest loves. I mean, I've been playing that the longest of any sport I can imagine. Right. So I was getting this tattoo for Jackie Robinson, one of my other big idols, but also for Chadwick because he played Jackie in 42.
Right.
So I planned this a week in advance, right? I've been talking with my artist, we like got it all set. That Saturday I was going. Friday night, it's like 1, 2 in the morning, I'm on headset gaming with my boys, we're playing. We get the update that Chadwick had died. He died the eve of me getting the tattoo.
That's crazy.
On that note, Black Panther another one of his unbelievably iconic roles. One for just a black kid to finally have this big black like superhero to like look up, like that was just unbelievable. But two, just because of the meaning he had to me already from playing Jackie. So for the last, I don't know, 6 years, ever since acting had become the goal for me, I've been wearing this Black Panther ring. That's the one he wears in the movie. It's just like, you know, it's the replica I got, but it's like my favorite ring. And it's like that thing that keeps me going. It's like, man, that's the goal, man, to be that one day.
Right.
So I think a Marvel movie, Chadwick, or sorry, Black Panther, not
no, it's
Chadwick,
gonna happen,
but
bro.
that would be
because that's the goals you gotta have, man. Like, and then I don't mean to sound like that, but it's like, bro, you want to be an icon, bro. You already are, man. The fact that you look up to someone who's as iconic as him, it's beautiful, bro. And like you said, he's left behind a more beautiful trademark. If you really think about it, like it's a global thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's kids now who really are in their mind like, I'm gonna become a superhero,
changing their lives,
and that's what I agree. And that's why I say we'll change the world. And you know, it takes baby steps. You just have to be different. So do you feel like you're different? Like, do you think you?
I think there is no one out there like me.
Yeah, and that's how you have to. And
that's the way I wanted.
That's why I wanted to ask, man, because like.
And that's the big reason I got into my clothes. The brand is called Fresh Prince Fits because Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was the wildest nigga in that show.
He was pretty wild,
right? And the thing was, it was like his whole thing was like, just because I'm wild and I'm like color and I'm out there with my clothing and different doesn't make me any less hood. And like, I'm not from Philly and from the streets.
Right.
Like, those things aren't contradictory.
Right.
Your clothing, you can have different things you're trying to express with your clothing, and it doesn't need to be the exact same, and it can be like weird, conflicting
that's rich, like profiling. You know what I mean? You look at someone and think that just because you have glasses you're a nerd. Like, that's not how it works. Or me with a beanie, I'm a skateboarder
or something. Yeah, there's none of that. So a lot of like starting this brand for me was like, man, I want to bring that idea that he brought to that show and to his fashion in that show to the world, because we all want to express what we want to express the way we want to express it. And I want to do that for people specifically by taking their favorite hoodie or that blanket that they got from their late grandfather or something, and turning it into something meaningful for them. That's like really letting them wear their story. Right? Like, every day you can get up and be like, man, Pops is with me. Wow. Like, it's something meaningful and true like that.
Do you like have anywhere we could find some of your stuff?
You can check it all out on my IG, fresh.prince.fits, or on the website, freshprincefits.com. Check me out.
Yeah, please tap in with him, because like, if you could see his pants and his jacket that he took off, bro, these things are fire. Like, there's a lot of vintage people out here. I'm not trying to like sound favoritism because we're on the pod, but it's like, this man's pants are fresh. I really like them. And then even the hoodie, if you see, or not the hoodie, the jacket, this thing's fire. Look at that thing. Like, come on, bro, that's dope, man. And you did all that yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, who do you know, bro? Shout out to Good Love, though. I know Good Love. You ever heard of Good Love Clothing? Yeah, shout out to him. There's a lot of more, I would say, up and coming clothing design people than there has ever been.
100%. And let me not say there's no competition out there. Like, this is all love. It's all growth. It's all like, how can we learn from each other, collaborate with each other, and grow? There is nothing but goodness out there. I got 3 fashion shows coming up this semester.
Wow, shout those out real.
Yes, sir. We got I'm doing one with Charleston Black Pride and Eco Runway Fashion Show. It's going to be October 28th, last weekend of October. You can find that on either one of their IGs or in mine very soon. The weekend before, I'm doing a fashion show with a bunch of local friends and designers and just artists from CFC, doing a little promotion for the school and the costume department in particular. But what it's going to be, it's going to be some class. It's going to be like Mike Live out there. We got L out
shout
there.
Out to Mike Live.
Yes, sir, my boy Mike. We going to have We got China out there curating. My good friend Lindsay, who goes to CFC with me, she's going to be one of the other main designers in it. Her mom, Erin Mack, runs Hippie Beaches. Okay. She's doing so much to put this all together for us.
Bro, you got a lot on your agenda, 21st. Oh, you got October.
That's going to be October 21st, and then one more November 18th.
Golly.
It's going to be a packed semester, bro. With
I didn't even mean to cut him off. I thought
man.
You were my dog got a whole thing. What about next year? Go ahead.
Hold on. Last one is going to be November 18th. Dev Small's 𝙄𝙣𝙩𝙚𝙬 fashion show. Don't want to miss it. Catch that link in my bio.
And I didn't mean to cut him off. For
you good.
I didn't know it was that much, man. This man is everywhere. Y'all make sure I'm for real tap in with this man.
It's about to blow up.
If you are not on that level of like trying to make sure you're always busy, then you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you gotta slow down sometimes and stuff like that. But it's like, for real, bro, keep yourself busy. And I think we've kind of covered everything that I wanted to cover. I know there's one question, but I saved that one for last. But I do want to say, dude, there was one thing I was gonna ask. No. Oh yeah, I just wanted to ask a college question. Yeah, man. Because I didn't even talk about college at all. Do you feel like going to college at Charleston has like made a big impact in doing fresh and stuff like that, or do you feel like it's been holding you back from it?
It's funny. It was the reason I was able to start the business. The business started in the CFC costume shop. My professors were so nice to me, and everyone in that department was really so open, and once they saw I was really into fashion, because I didn't come in even a theater major, I came in computer science. I was doing that for a minute, but I switched over quick, and they were so into like, yeah, man, let me show you how I can help you, or like another way to do this, and yeah, you want to use some of that, go ahead, go right ahead. And it was COVID too, so again, I hadn't met all that many people my freshman year, so I was spending just a lot of time hanging out there. So I owe a lot.
Did you start like when COVID started?
That was around when I got started.
That's different.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, like I said, then from there, it was the Honors Immerse project that, again, they promoted huge, and that really built the whole thing up. There's like an entrepreneurship club I've been in, and they really do a lot to bring in outside mentors and outside people who are also in different businesses and can kind of give you a little bit of their experiences and their like backstories and kind of help you with what you need help with, wherever that could be. They have done so much to kind of help me get to where I am now. But yeah, at a certain point, it's almost like they did their job too well. So I did, after the Honors College, after that whole project and all that, I did end up dropping the Honors College because it was too much on my plate now, because I was focusing more on the business and I didn't have time for quite as much as the academic side.
Which I honestly think it might be a good move, bro.
No, it was. It was a great one. It was a great one. And the Honors College had no like issue with that. Like, that's their goal, man, is they did their job well, right? They excelled me to where I needed to be before the time they thought they were going to be able to, right? So if they feel like this wasn't a loss for them, and you know, I'm almost done now. No one's going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, yeah, like now at a certain point, it is where it's like, if I wasn't spending all that time I'm taking geology right now because I was dumb and pushed it off to my senior year, and everyone's got to take a science, right? Yeah, I could be sewing a lot more, but it is what it is, and we're about to get through.
No, you just got to bounce through it. That's why I felt like that was a good question to ask, and I meant to ask it earlier.
It's a good one.
Because I just be flaring these questions like, somebody help me, you know what I mean? But no, man, let's do the final question, though. How do you always wake up and be yourself? Not fresh. How do you always maintain to be yourself?
Man, that's a big one. That's a big one.
It's hard because, like, I'll even say for me, you know, I wanted to kind of have you think about it because it's really that deep. Like, I just wake up, I grind, and I try to be a bigger impact to the world than I've ever had to myself, you know, and maybe that's something that a lot of people are battling now is they don't know how to be themselves, so they look around and they try to find someone else to do it with, you know what I mean? But I feel like, you know, it just takes time, bro, and you may not have an answer to that. That's why I asked that question last, because it's something that it's hard. I want people to wake up in the middle of the night after these interviews and be like, dang, this dude really asked me, how can I be myself? And for real, ask yourself that. If you're watching it this far, thank you, I appreciate you, but ask yourself, how can you be yourself when you wake up? And we'll kind of leave it on that. Did you have an answer?
I think I got one for you.
Go ahead, throw it at us.
I think it's a little bit of what you were saying, where it's every day it's waking up and thinking, all right, I know where I'm trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the next step to take to get there, right? I know who I am, what I want to share with the world, what I'm trying to present to the world. What's the next step to put it there? And if I'm working for that every single day, then I know I'm working for what's real.
Yeah, no, what you want to do,
real.
which is being yourself. Because that's why you came in the crib and you'd be like, dang, this dude's really about it. Like, you know, because you just got to do it. And I feel like I already felt it when you walked in, bro. You got a fresh fit on. This man's fresh from head to toe.
Every day.
So for real, man, and it's beautiful, man. And I think we shout out your socials, right?
Yeah, man.
But again, guys, stay true to yourself, and the only way to achieve your dreams is through you. No one else is going to do it. You got to get up every single day, and you got to grind harder than you did yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, appreciate you having me, family. Yes, sir.
Interview 9.
Fresh Prince Fitz.
Peace, guys.